And here we go. So both Elle and I are extremely grateful that you are here. Welcome. Welcome to this master class, The Secret to Manifestation, that we are both so excited to share with you. For those of you who don't know, I want to do a brief introduction of myself, and then I will do a beautiful introduction of my beloved teacher, Elle, who is joining us from India, like I said. But before we go to that, just a couple of Zoom. You will all be muted for most of this call. Feel free to have your cameras on or off. This call will be recorded and it will be going on YouTube for access. So if you want your video off, totally understand, but you will be muted through the whole call. Also, there'll be plenty of time for question and answer. However, that will happen at the end of the call. So please either write your questions in the chat or feel free to jot them down. And then I'll be asking all the questions at the end. So just write them in the chat or write them on a piece of paper, and Elle will have plenty of time to answer the questions at the end. So those, I think, are the Zoom rules. Of course, you can go on gallery view if you want to see all of the beautiful people, or you can be on speaker view if you want to see just the speaker. I'll be recording in speaker view, so the recording will be with just the teacher. Okay, so to get started, my name is Priya, and I live here in Atlanta, Georgia, the United States. I was born in Mumbai. I moved to the US with my parents when I was 5 years old, grew up in the US. And very briefly, my story is, like many immigrant parents, my family struggled in a foreign country, right? We didn't know the rules. My parents had left everything that was familiar to them to give us independence, to give us an opportunity for a better life, in a very, very courageous step. My journey living in the US often led to me feeling not Indian enough and not American enough. It was oftentimes a conflict. However, I decided that this was my life, and I wanted to be a lawyer at some point, so I went to law school. And I spent 15 years as a criminal defense lawyer working with clients on death row here in the United States. Eventually, that led to a very work hard, play hard mentality where I was completely devoid of any self-care. My self-love was in the bucket. I was really struggling with life. And that led to a path of exploring my Indian heritage and spirituality. I went through something that I now know is called the dark night of the soul, which is almost like a depression, but it was more about asking very existential questions. Who am I? What is the meaning of life? What is my purpose? What does it all mean? Those questions led me on a year-long journey to India, and that eventually led from me shifting my life purpose from lawyer to healer and coach and teacher, and understanding my spiritual path in a very different way than I ever had before, which leads me to introduce this beautiful, beautiful teacher from India, Ellaeenah. Elle was one of the first teachers that I met when I came to India. My beautiful aunt, Sangeeta, that some of you know, who I went to go stay with, said, I really think there's a teacher and a spiritual mentor that would be really good on your path. And I landed in front of Elle's house having no idea what to expect, didn't have any idea really what she did. All I knew is I trusted my aunt, and so I showed up at Elle's house, and I have to say that was one, I was just crying earlier because it was one of the most profound moments of my life. Elle has guided me off and on since that moment, but that was truly the start, one of the starts of my beautiful, beautiful adventure on healing. And so I'll give you her official bio, and then I'd like to ask her to speak. But first, Elle, welcome. So excited.
Thank you. Thank you, Priya. It's lovely to be here. And thank you to all of you for being here.
Thank you, Elle. So Elle is a spiritual mentor and counselor, an energy intuit, a certified Ho'oponopono teacher. Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian huna healing and I would say philosophy for life. A Bach flower remedies practitioner, a writer, and she teaches and guides on the cosmic truths for self-empowerment and self-healing. Elle, welcome.
Thank you, Priya.
Yes, and Elle, I am so curious, for those of us who don't know you, what led you on this path of spiritual teaching and healing?
I came onto this path fighting and kicking, and not at all what I wanted to do, not at all who I wanted to be. It was nothing that ever interested me. I was very happy leading my life, running after money and trying to get a position and ensuring that my ego was being patted all the time. And had no intention of leaving that. I was quite happy in that superficial existence. Genuinely, I mean, I had no reason to leave that. No, I lie. I had one reason to leave that. One day I saw fear in the eyes of my daughter, who was about 2.5 years old when she looked at me. And it shocked me. And that was the first time I questioned what I had become and where this deep anger was coming from. Prior to that, I was, I quite proudly would say, oh, I am a very angry person, almost as though there was some, as though it kind of validated my existence in some way. Of course, I realize now where all that came from. But that one look in my daughter's eyes was enough for me to step back and ask myself, is this really you? Is this who you are? Are you this horrible person that engenders fear in the eyes of your own firstborn? And somewhere deep within me, the answer was no, this is not who I am. But I had no idea who I was, because I was living a life that was so superficial, that was so ego-driven, that was so personality-directed. I mean, soul and all the rest of it was just, yeah, it's there, but I'm not interested in it. And that started me on a journey of seeking out a therapist. For the very first time, I acknowledged that this anger was not something to be thrilled about, but there was a problem. And I know now that when you seek with all your being, only that one right door will open up for you. And that was truly the case. And I landed up with a therapist who was so unusual. I mean, just so unusual. And I'm so thrilled he was that unusual, because I don't think I would have lasted out for 3 years with a traditional therapist. And he was just, in the middle of our session, he would burst into song, or he would start reciting some advertisement jingle. But for me, those were the triggers that took me instantly to a realization about self. And so he and I gelled amazingly well. And the organization where he worked was a, a truly wonderful organization. And that is where I got my first awareness of spirituality, along with the traditional therapy work that they were doing. And at that time, again, by divine synchronicity, came into my life my first spiritual mentor, Meru. And together, these 3 years were an unpeeling of the ego. And they were difficult 3 years, very difficult 3 years, but I had the complete support of my husband and my family in that. And at the end of it, here we are. And though that period ended 3 years ago, the self-discovery has not stopped. And for me, that is an ongoing, everyday process. Looking at myself, acknowledging the fear, acknowledging the anger that comes up from time to time. But now I've understood that my anger is my disguise. I turn inner pain into anger. It's easier for me to be angry than to connect to inner pain. And so occasionally when I move into anger, I know enough to now tell myself, hug myself and say, Elle, why are you in so much pain? Don't be scared of the pain. Let's deal with this. And so it gets easier and easier and easier. And many people have asked me, many of my clients ask me, Elle, why is your purpose of service empowerment? And I look at them and smile. And I say, because that is my own personal purpose. I realized that that life that I led was the life that was being led by a very, very weak person, a person who had no power in her. And it is only when I became self-empowered that I realized who I was, who I am, who I can still be. And hey, that's the gift I want to share with others.
Thank you. And now you can all see why this is an extraordinary teacher. And see, I'm going to try. I don't mean to cry, but I'm going to cry. Because that is such a wonderful role model for all of us. Thank you, Elle. So,
thank you.
We are going to just take a few deep breaths before we get started and really get us centered into this space. So I'd like all of you to close your eyes, please. And just breathe in whatever way feels right for you. Just some beautiful, deep, cleansing breaths. Express gratitude to yourself for making the time to be here today. You deserve self-empowerment. You are worthy of love. And you are powerful beyond measure. Allow that to sink in to your bones. And I will say a brief invocation while you keep your eyes closed. In the name of the I am that I am, I humbly invoke the presence of the beings of light and the great central sun, the ascended masters, the angels, and the entire angelic realm. We ask for the presence of the ancestors of this land. And we ask for the presence of our own ancestors. We ask for the dolphins and the whales to join us, the ETs of the light, and all beings known or unknown to us who may be available to assist us, to join us here and now, so we can remember who we really are. We ask for a direct connection for each one present to his or her higher self. We call in the 4 directions, the north, the south, the east, and the west. And we call in the 5 elements, the earth, the air, the fire, the water, and the ether. And if you have your own intentions, simply state it silently to yourself now. And as you take a final deep breath, know that we humbly give thanks for the privilege of being here. And we ask for the most benevolent outcome for all present. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. You may open your eyes. Thank you so much. And Elle, the class is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, there is a secret to manifestation. I wish I had unearthed the secret many years ago, but I unearthed it, I guess, when the time was right, when I was ready to receive that secret. Manifestation and law of attraction is not new. I'm sure there are many, many here who have heard of switch words, who have done affirmations, who have prayed, who have read The Secret or read the book Zero Limits. And yet, in spite of all that knowledge, you and I both know that there are certain manifestations that just do not take place, however hard we try. We can pray, we can call upon the angels, we ask the masters, we use our crystals, we use sacred geometry, but it still doesn't work. And this is exactly why I began my personal quest. What is this that I am missing? Because there is something that I'm missing. I know that if I knew it all, then it would be impossible for me not to manifest every single time. This hit and miss process of manifestation would not exist. And this led me to ask that question: who is manifesting? Am I manifesting? Is Ellaeenah manifesting? Is this being that most people call God, is he, she manifesting? Who? What? What is this process of creation, and what is this process of manifestation? And when I found the answer, it was so simple, but so profound. And since that time, my manifestation has become a process of joy, not one of disappointment, not one of doubt and hesitation. But before we come to that secret, we need to understand very clearly this process of manifestation. If we don't understand that, the secret that I shall reveal to you, and I only call it a secret because it was a secret to me. I didn't know about it, right? And I found it. But if we don't go down this process of understanding manifestation, the secret will not mean anything to you. So let's start from the very beginning. When there was nothing, when there was no matter, there was no universe, no stars, no angels, no masters, certainly no humans, nothing. There was no matter. So what was there in the universe? This thing, for want of a better word, that we call source is consciousness. We cannot describe it in any other way. It does not have a form. It does not even have energy. Consciousness is 2 steps removed from energy. It is consciousness that creates energy. This consciousness is a pulsating force. It's a constant. It has always been. It shall always be. And it pulsates. Now, this pulsing is extremely important. In this pulsing is the secret to creation of matter. As consciousness pulses, this vibration, it's a gentle pulsing vibration. It's deep, it's resonant. Each time it pulsates, it breathes into what is outside, what is inside, because everything is consciousness. So it almost breathes into itself. And every time it breathes this force into itself, a tiny cell is formed. And that one cell is the beginning of matter. But that one cell is a unique cell. It's very different from all the cells in our bodies. Because the very fact that you are matter means that you also have that one cell which consciousness breathed itself into. This one cell you can call the God cell or the God self. This cell is complete, full, throbbing with the force of consciousness. So within you, as a being of matter, lies at the very core of you this one cell, which is the God cell or the God self, which consists of pure consciousness. This force of consciousness is so potent that all we need is one cell in our being. We do not need our beings to be filled with that cell. In fact, if there was more than one cell, you and I would not be able to maintain our matter form. We would actually become energy beings and back into consciousness again. this one God cell is constantly feeding us the force of consciousness, but it is also permitting us to be matter. By the very presence of this one God cell within you, you become the universe. There is no distinction between you and the universe, because the universe has also been created by consciousness breathing itself, its force into the universe, and the universe took place. You also were created by consciousness breathing itself, creating itself into this cell. This cell then began to multiply and created matter, which is you, your human form. Although we see this human form, we must never forget that deep in the core of this very human form lies this God cell. So the first question that I asked myself, who is manifesting? Is Ellaeenah manifesting? And the answer is both yes and no. Because Ellaeenah, the brain, Ellaeenah, the heart, Ellaeenah, the personality, is not manifesting. Ellaeenah, the God cell, is manifesting. So you will realize that what I'm going to be doing is taking you down slowly so that you find that God cell within you. When you find your God cell, manifestation is 100% process, 100% of the time. We come down to the next point, the difference between us as matter and consciousness. Consciousness does not even recognize matter. It has facilitated the creation of matter by breathing into this one cell, but it does not recognize you and I or anything in this world as matter. It only recognizes us as energy. And this is the second mistake we have all made while manifesting. We are attempting to manifest matter. We have already discovered that the one who is manifesting is this deep-seated God cell, a cell that is filled with, overflowing with consciousness, the force of consciousness. Consciousness does not recognize matter. Consciousness can only recognize energy. When you and I attempt to manifest matter, this signal goes unrecognized, because consciousness does not even know what you are referring to. Matter is an illusion. Consciousness knows truth. Matter is true for you and I, but it is not cosmic truth. So the second point of realization for me through my cosmic overlord Jade Fire was, pay attention to what you are manifesting. For example, let's take a very simple example. suppose I have a desire to get this phone, and I begin to manifest that I would like to have this phone. This is an incorrect form of manifesting, because I am focusing on matter, which is illusion. What is the energy that I wish to manifest? I wish to manifest the energy of very, very high level, modern age technology that will work in order to help me communicate, whether it is through a call or over internet, in a manner that is clear, that is easy, that is without any complication. When I manifest an energy, that aspect of matter which falls into that energy 100% shall come to me effortlessly. So instead of manifesting an X phone or a Y phone, I manifest the energy that I am looking for through the phone. If I am manifesting a home or a house, the energy that I seek to manifest through that matter is the energy of a place of shelter, the energy of love, the energy of comfort, the energy of ease, the energy of happiness, the energy of sacred energy in the home. I manifest that without manifesting the matter illusion. When we continue to ask for material things, we face disappointment, because it is the God self that is manifesting. The God self is consciousness. Consciousness does not recognize matter. So when you say a telephone, when you say a car, when you say a holiday, these are not going to happen. And that is why we get disappointed. So before you manifest, ask yourself, okay, this is what I would like. I would like this phone, or I would like this home, or I would like this job, or I would like this relationship. Fine. It's yours by right. But before you start the process, just ask yourself over the next few days, through this job, through this car, through this telephone, through this house, through this job, what is the energy that I am seeking to bring into my life? What is the energy that I am seeking to bring into my life? As soon as you focus on the energy, it shall be. This is something people do not understand. And they get, just as I did, get caught in the material things. Please do not misunderstand. I am not dissing material acquisitions. I enjoy money and everything that it has to bring, as much as the next person. In fact, I think we all have the soul-given right to be abundant. And so there's nothing wrong in desiring to enrich your life. But when you are manifesting, then manifest in a way that the universe, that consciousness will co-create with you. That God self has consciousness within. When you start the process of manifestation, that consciousness aligns itself with consciousness of all that is. And together, there is a co-creation. Now, if even one of these does not understand or recognize your desire, then there cannot be manifestation. Your brain is not manifesting, but it is your brain that sees the phone. It is your brain that desires the job. It is your brain that wants that relationship, but your brain is not manifesting. Your brain doesn't even know how to manifest. Your brain only knows how to think. Thought is a personality process. The soul does not think. Consciousness does not think. Consciousness already knows. So do not use an aspect of yourself that is very important to you in other areas, but is not important for you in this one area. Let's go to the next one. Once you understood that it is the God cell that manifests, and the God cell recognizes energy and not the illusion of form, you will appreciate that consciousness does not have any awareness, any knowingness, any awareness of good or bad. The good and the bad is a thought and a belief that resides in our brain. It is not something recognized by consciousness. So once you've mastered the art and the skill of manifestation, understand that you take on a very, very important, significant responsibility. You take on the responsibility of focusing on positive energies where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. If your focus is on the energy of fear, is on the energy of anger, is on the energy of sickness, beloveds, you will manifest that. Because now that you know how to manifest, the more you practice this, and I hope you will, the quicker and the less conscious will be your manifesting process, till you reach a point, till you reach a joyous point where you focus is. Do you see how responsible you have to be there? Supposing you are focusing on fear, supposing you're focusing on anger, supposing you're focusing on ill health, wherever your attention goes, that is where your energy shall flow. And where your energy shall flow, becomes a signal to your consciousness. Manifest this. None of us are silly enough to say, I wish to manifest an illness. I wish to manifest poverty. I mean, there has to be something very, very, very wrong with us if we are doing that. I mean, it goes way beyond self-sabotage. So none of us are doing that. But we are still facing ill health. We are still facing situations we do not wish to experience. Why? Because we do not understand that before that situation comes into our awareness, into the awareness of our five senses, we have already focused our energy upon it. And I repeat again, where attention goes, energy flows. And we've created that for ourselves. So remember, manifestation cannot be compartmentalized. You cannot tell God's self, now listen, buddy, you will only manifest when I am looking at or I am focusing on positive energy. Otherwise, you please keep quiet. I wish it were that easy, right? We would have to take no responsibility. But it isn't. And why is it not that easy? Because when you manifest, when I manifest, when we manifest, we become divine creators. We take on the mantle of a divine creator. And that brings me to my next point. Do not ever think that you cannot take on that mantle. Do not believe that that mantle doesn't fit you, that you don't deserve to get that mantle. Because you do. You are the God self. In you, consciousness has breathed its force. If you were this horrible, evil, ugly human being, would consciousness have breathed its force into you? You are a being of so much beauty, of so much love, of so much compassion. Like me, very often it stays hidden under all the pain that we have experienced in life. And we judge ourselves from that pain and the conditioning that comes with the pain. That tells you you are an angry person, you are an impatient person, no one likes you because you're angry, your friends leave you because you don't know how to talk, you are so aggressive. You hear that all the time, you hear that all the time. And it becomes your truth. Till you suddenly look into the eyes of a child and say, is this the truth? And it's not. Because the truth is that you are love, that you are God self, that you are power, that you are wisdom. So you have the right to take on this mantle. You have the right to wear this mantle. You have the right to say, I am the God self. And from this moment onwards, I create my life. No destiny and no nothing. There is no Santa Claus that some people have called God sitting on his throne and with one swipe meting out punishment and with another swipe meting out reward. We've created God out of our image when the truth is that we are the image of God. But we have allowed our priests and our scriptures and People who have taught us religion over the decades and over the centuries to teach us that this God is who we think we are. So take on that mantle. Don't be scared. Don't be scared because, oh my God, El has said, if I learn about manifestation, then I will manifest fear. I can manifest X, Y, Z, but I can also manifest anger. So what? Of course you can. But so what? I still manifest fear sometimes. I still manifest anger sometimes. But I am thrilled because it gives me the opportunity to learn that I still have so much more to learn. It gives me the opportunity to say, hey, El, come on, wake up and smell the coffee. You've not reached there yet. So what if you will manifest that? So what if you manifest ill health sometimes? Hey, it's all part of the fun. It's all part of the fun of consciousness. Listen, friends, you and I have chosen to come into this world, a world of duality. There are other worlds out there, they have no duality. It's a world of complete one energy. You and I have chosen to come into this amazing jigsaw puzzle called Earth. Why don't we enjoy this jigsaw puzzle? Yes, some pieces we will put in wrong. But don't you see, that's the fun of growing up. Growing up into my God cell. Every time I put a piece wrong, I say, hey, 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 not there. Move it, not there. And that's another bit that I have learned. So take on proudly, joyously, fearlessly. Take on the mantle of co-creator. Let's come to the next one. When you are scared or you doubt who you are, you keep your dreams very small. So a lovely mother messaged me the other day and she said, El, I would like to have a session with you. And she told me about herself. And she said, but I also want to discuss my teenage son who has dreams that are so unrealistic. And I know where we are in life. And I am scared that he dreams these huge dreams that are completely unrealistic and completely out of his reach. So I'd like a session for him as well. What do I tell this mother? The only thing I'm going to tell her is, please let him dream. Let him dream big. Right? Because you dream small out of your fear. Why would you condition your child to live a life of fear and dream small? When I ask people and they say, El, I really need a sum of money, please help me. And when I ask them how much, they'd say like about 10,000. And I look at them and say, what? What? That's your desire. Come on, bigger, bigger. Come on, open up. Oh, 50,000 and 50,000. Oh, am I being greedy? Whenever we dream big, there is that voice of conditioning telling us, don't be greedy, don't be selfish. Where is this voice coming from? Your brain. Is the brain manifesting? No. Tell the voice, thank you for your input. I'll be aware of that, but now you go to sleep. Because right now, who is awake? My God self is awake. And my God self knows all there is and all there is still to be. It knows that vastness. What is 10,000 and 50,000? Chicken feed, not even chicken feed. One cosmic chicken also will not be full with that. So dream big. When I say dream big, what do I mean? When you desire something, close your eyes, because your eyes will listen to the command of your brain, and you do not want your brain to be active in this process. Close your eyes. Wherever you feel, wherever you believe your God cell is, place your hand on your God cell. Right? Some might say, I think my God cell is here. Some might say it's here. Some might say it's in my solar plexus. Wherever you think your God cell is. Place your hand on your God cell and give command. Give me a vision here and now. Give me a vision here and now of this energy that I command be manifest. Give me a vision. Now here is one minor secret of manifestation. If you can vision it, if you can see it in your vision, it means that you can manifest it. So I have been a high school teacher for 32 years, and I left about 5 years ago. The high school kids were looking at a national board examination where they had to do well in order to get into colleges and universities of their choice. Yes, I had to teach commerce and accounts and English and all of that. But the first thing I would teach them is manifestation. So I would ask them, which is the one subject in which you are just not getting the grades that you seek? Focus on the energy of that subject and bring a vision. What is the mark that you are seeing in your vision for that national exam? Not right now, for that national exam. Some of them would be ashamed to tell me their answer. On coaxing them, they would very sheepishly say, I am looking at 92. Wow. What is the grade you're getting now? 24. And that's why they were looking sheepish. And that's when manifestation would work for them. Because they were taught that every time you are doing homework or you are sitting to study this subject, the first thing you will do is align yourself to the energy of that subject, to the energy, not the mark, not the mark, to the energy of that subject. And then start your work. Over 95% of students would get the mark of their vision, if not more. Because it's not about how much the brain knows. It's not about how much the brain knows. I distinctly remember my son telling me once after a very big university exam, he says, Mom, I was so exhausted that everything that I had studied, my brain was blank. And when I started writing my paper, it was as though there was someone writing it with me. And I said, yes, there was, your God cell. the brain was tired and fatigued. Consciousness is never tired and never fatigued. So don't be scared when you vision something that is so big, you never thought it would be within your reach. But if you can see it, it means that it's already there in energy form, waiting for you to bring it into your matter reality. If you can see it, and I'm repeating this because this is so important, if you can envision it here, it means that it is already present in energy form, waiting for you to bring it into your matter reality. How are you going to bring it into your matter reality? And I'm going to read out to you the words of Carl Jung, the psychologist. Jung realized the secret of manifestation, I think, before any of the spiritualists realized it. Your vision, he says, will become clear only when you look inwards. Who looks outside only dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Jung did not talk of the God self, but Jung was talking of looking inwards. And that is what I asked you to do a few minutes ago. I asked you to focus on your God self. You are looking inwards. When you look inward, your consciousness awakens. You see, you are a human being. You have a power which no other being in this universe has. You have the power of choice. Because you live in a dual world, you have been given the power of choice. If you choose to focus on the outside, that is your right. And there is no right and wrong about it. But every time you focus on the outside, your consciousness becomes dormant. But as soon as you focus inside, instantly consciousness awakens and says, yes, here I am, your God self. So make it a habit every day for even a few minutes to look within, to connect to that God self. And it doesn't need to be for several minutes at a time. It's a moment of, hey, God self, you okay? Here I am saying hello. And that's it. And that's it. Do this several times in the day. Your consciousness will remain awake, will not go to sleep. The next, imagination, visualization, creation. These are the 3 steps, very, very important. The brain gives you a thought. Please remember, the brain only gives you thought. The brain gives you a thought. Oh, I'd love to have this telephone. That's a thought. As soon as the brain has given you a thought, your mind space creates an imagination. And you imagine that you are with that phone, feeling thrilled. The next step, if you want that phone, is visualization. Can you embrace your God self, touch your God self, look within, awaken your consciousness, and vision that phone here? You might be surprised that you actually can't vision that phone here, but what you can envision is a phone 10 times more expensive. And you say, what? I don't have money for this. Hello? Are we getting our wires crossed somewhere? No, we are not. Because your consciousness is telling you, really, you want that phone? There's a far better one in the market. Come on, let's work towards that. This one? Yeah. When you get that vision, that's your visualization. Stay with it and then follow what we are going to learn now. The next one. You have heard this many, many times. I know you have. I heard it many times, and I always used to wonder, whatever does this mean? In order to have, you have to be. And I used to wonder, what is this? What is this complicated statement? In order to have, you have to be. What do I have to be? So in order to have wealth, you have to be rich. In order to have a fabulous relationship, you have to be loved. In order to have good health, you have to be healthy. Now you'll say this is all rubbish, because the reason why I'm going to manifest that is because I'm not that. And that's exactly what I used to tell myself. Hey, because I am not X, that's why I want to manifest it, right? And that's when I realized how wrong I was. Again, I was trying to manifest from the brain. And the brain was telling me, you don't have the money, you are in debt, you haven't paid your credit card bill, you have no money to pay that credit card bill. The brain was giving me all of this, all these thoughts. And then I looked at my life. I never have to pay for sunshine. I don't have to pay for the oxygen I breathe in. Even with the virus around and the pandemic around, I don't have to pay for the good health I'm enjoying. I am rich with the blessings of all my family and friends. I am rich because I enjoy the birds chirping outside every morning. I am rich because the moonlight streams into my bedroom window. I am rich because anytime I feel a little cold, all I have to do is take 2 steps out and the sun makes me warm again. Can you see how I am rich? I am rich, and so I shall have riches. You have to be loved in order to enjoy a loving relationship. What does that mean? You have to be love. What are the various aspects of love? The smile that you give your neighbor each morning. A little pat on the head of the child who's playing outside. A compassionate hug to a friend who's weeping. A kind act when you pass someone who's homeless, buying a cup of coffee and giving it to someone who's sitting at the street corner shivering in the cold. When you are love, you shall get that loving relationship. We'll understand this a little better a little later. Right now, I just want you to stay with this, that when you are, then you shall have. Now, this is where my greatest aha eureka moment came. And I realized this is what I was missing. This is what I was missing. When I understood what I am is what I shall receive, I began to pay great attention to who I am and what I am. I do a lot of inner child healing for others and for myself naturally. And I realized that this question, who am I, can only be answered by the state my subconscious is in. I can trick myself into believing I am rich. But if deep within my subconscious, I am feeling poor, if deep within my subconscious is a fear of poverty and scarcity, if deep within my subconscious is a constant comparison that I'm making of myself with others who I think are more fortunate than I am, then I am not rich. I am only allowing my brain to trick me into believing that I am saying I am rich. So this was the secret to manifestation. I realized in order to manifest, I don't have to pray, I don't have to use affirmations, I don't have to use switch words, I don't have to chant, I have to do nothing of this sort. I just have to be aware of my inner child, that energy which is a summation of all my experiences, which lies in my deep subconscious. Some call it the unconscious mind. It is there that my answer lies. What I envision here, and this is now the secret that I am revealing to you, the secret that I went, oh my God, how have I been missing this? When I envision it here, this vision is not transmitted to the higher energies in order to be created. No. This vision is in fact taken down by my God self, is taken down by my God self, and this vision finds its place in my subconscious or the unconscious mind. There, this vision starts emitting light and heat and energy. As soon as it goes into my subconscious mind, all the hurdles that are present coming in the way of this light and heat and energy are going to be cleared. Now, let's assume I am manifesting the energy of perfect health. Let's assume further that I have suffered ill health for many, many, many years. When I touch my God self, I look within, I awaken the consciousness, I get a vision of myself enjoying perfect health. I instantly, according to older wisdom, begin to chant, begin to pray, begin to meditate, begin to do everything in order to make this vision come true. And it doesn't. 10 days later, I'm down with another illness. And I'm wondering, what did I do wrong? What you did wrong was you missed out this process that takes place. Now you must become aware that as soon as you envision it, as soon as you envision it, your God self, consciousness that has awakened, will take this vision and pull it downwards into your subconscious or the unconscious mind. You can call it the gut if you want. For those of you who know chakras, the Sacral Chakra is the seat of creation. Why? Because that is where your subconscious or the unconscious mind is. We have one mind here, we have another mind in the Sacral Chakra. This mind is only outward trained. This mind is the creation, is the creative mind. So when you want creation, where should the vision go? It has to go into the creative mind, which is called the subconscious. Now, in that subconscious lie memories of your experiences, which means in my subconscious lie memories of all the years that I have been sick. Right? When it's pulled into my subconscious, it meets all these memories. It meets the pain, it meets the frustration, it meets the resentment, it meets the bitterness, it meets the disappointment, it meets the fear. This vision shall constantly continue to emit light and heat and energy, and it pulses in the same way that consciousness pulsed and created its own creations. Now this vision starts pulsing, and every pulse it releases light and heat and force and energy. What does this light and heat and force and energy do? It begins to slowly clear out the fear and the bitterness and the resentment and the frustration and the disappointment. All you have to do is to be patient. And this is where most stumble. But how long can I wait, Elle? Oh, my beautiful one, you've been sick for 10 years. Surely you can give 10 months for that energy to be cleared? No, we want it yesterday. Again, that impatience is coming from the brain, which has been trained to say we should be gratified here and now. So when you get impatient, hold your head and say, I love you, and thank you for serving me, but not right now. Right now, again, go back to sleep. I'll waken you when I need you again. I love you. This pulsing will slowly clear out all these energies that stand in the way of your perfect health. Now, here is one thing that happens which we are not aware of, which is part of the secret. As this clearance takes place, as strand upon strand upon strand of energy is neutralized, the negative energy is neutralized. Every time a negative energy is neutralized, there is more place in my subconscious. What will fill that place? It will be filled by the consciousness that's constantly breathing into my God self. So your subconscious will be filled with more and more and more energy of the higher consciousness. And your God self gets stronger, the light and energy emissions get more powerful, there is more clearance, there is greater inflow of higher consciousness, and your God self joyfully creates a new, healthy, radiant you. Now, how will you keep patient? And ask me that. Right? Impatience is my lifelong, I think, rival there, telling me, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So how do I keep patient? Because I know that every time I'm impatient, I am creating one more energy strand, which now has to be cleared. Whereas I actually want less and less strands of negative energy. But every time we are impatient, we are creating more negative energy strands in the unconscious mind. So how do I keep patient? This consciousness, this force, has only one essence. This is the essence of love. It's not the love you and I feel. The love you and I feel still comes from our brain. This love is a force. It is a force that neutralizes anything that stands in its way. It is a force that creates itself over and over and over and over again. Consciousness is love. Love is a force. I use that force because I know that my God self is consciousness. Consciousness is love. I have that force within me. I use that force and I focus my attention on the vision and I say, I love you. I love you, the God self. Each time you say, I love you, the God self gets more active, more empowered, more potent. The flow of higher consciousness is huge. You know, I have made it seem as though it takes forever and a day. I promise you it doesn't. Because of the pandemic, we in India who are so used to having staff do all our work, right now we suddenly have to do it all ourselves because there's no staff coming in. So when I stand by the sink and I am cleaning all the vessels, sometimes my back spasms so acutely. I stop cleaning, I stand there, I turn my attention to that spasm and I say, I love you. I love you. The spasm is gone. I'm cleaning the rest of the vessels without a problem. When you start this process of manifestation, the entire process from vision to unconscious mind, to clearance, to higher conscious creation becomes instant. When it is not instant, I know that my subconscious has a little bit more to clear before I can enjoy my manifestation. I don't doubt myself. I don't doubt my ability. I don't doubt the manifestation process. I don't think I'm being greedy. I just know that my subconscious, that vision is facing more energies that are negative than I thought there were. And so I patiently give the vision the chance to clear these energies. I love you. I have found these three magical words. I love you. I am God Self. That God Self has multiplied itself into this matter that has a face and a body and hair and whatever. So I am God's Self. And as God's Self, I have a God Self given right to be healthy, to be happy, to be rich, to be wise. Why do we believe that we don't deserve that? That only a few can enjoy this. Today, this is the moment of change. This pandemic has come to help us look within. The pandemic has come to tell us, stay within your homes and look within at your God Self. Let that become active. This is the time when Earth itself is changing. This is the time we stop giving away our power. Because every time I depend on you, I demand of you, I expect of you to fulfill a desire, I am giving away my power. No one can be invested in your happiness more than you. Do not give this power away to anyone. Why should someone else take on the task of keeping you happy, keeping you satisfied, keeping you joyous, keeping you healthy? No. This is your 100% self-responsibility. It is not the responsibility of a parent or a child or a spouse or a partner. It is my responsibility. Why? Because I am the God self that desires this energy manifestation. Energy manifestation, not matter, not matter. I'm open to questions. Priya, I think you're on mute, my love.
I was so enthralled in what you were saying, Elle. First of all, thank you. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
I speak for all of us. It was profound, enlightening, and has given us all a lot to feel and think consciously and subconsciously about.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you, thank you, thank you. And there are quite a few questions. So feel free to write your questions in the chat. But I will start with a few that I have from myself and from others that have written to me privately. The first one, Elle, is, what if I don't know what I want?
Ooh, that is the first step of self-responsibility, my love. If you don't know what you want, how can I know what you want? Right? So people think that because I am reading my channeled cards, suddenly Elle has all the answers. And I'm saying, no, I don't have any answers. I don't have any answers. Only you have the answers. So you can't say, what do I want? Yes, you may not know what you want as matter, but you don't need to know what you want as matter. Do you want to experience the energy of happiness? Do you wish to experience the energy of health? Do you wish to experience the energy of success? You know that. You do know that. And that's all you need to know. What is the energy you wish to experience in the here, in the now?
Thank you. Okay, next question. Can I manifest my purpose in life?
You don't need to. You don't need to. You are already walking the path of your purpose. There is no other path for you to walk. The God self knows its path. Its sole purpose is drawing it towards itself like a beacon of light. You might think, or you might believe, because your brain is telling you that because you do not have knowledge of that purpose, you're actually not walking towards it, but you already are. Yes, manifest the energy of full awareness of the path.
Thank you, Elle. The next question. Is it possible that what I want is different from what my soul wants? And if so,
who are you and who is the soul? And why are we talking about these two schizophrenic different beings? Right? Is there a problem? I'm not a psychologist. So you are the soul is you. How can there be a distinction? Why are you thinking of yourself as different from your soul? Do you not see that this is the first hurdle to manifestation? When you do not recognize yourself as soul, how will you recognize the God self? So there's no you, there's no soul, all one.
perfect. This is why I love you, the straight, direct answers that have worked so well for me. And I think I use with my clients, and so now they can see where I get it from. Okay, next question. You stated to focus on the energy of that which we desire.
Yes.
How do we know what that specific energy is if we've never experienced it?
What you desire, if it is in your reach here and now, you shall know it. If it is not within your reach here and now, you shall not know it. So you cannot manifest it. That which you don't know has not yet come to you in your realm of consciousness, and therefore it is not for you to manifest it. So instead of making a futile search, instead focus on what you do know and manifest that. Remember, each time you manifest an energy, your God self becomes bigger. Your God self becomes more awakened, which means your next manifestation is stronger. And as you expand in consciousness, that which was earlier not in your realm of consciousness shall be in your realm of consciousness now.
And Al, just quickly, you're saying God cell or God self?
Both, they're the same.
Thank you. Okay.
The God cell multiplies and becomes the God self.
Thank you. Okay, here's a question. A reaction to focus on the positive. Aren't we therefore introducing the notion of duality? So if we take on the mantle of a divine creator, nature also has so-called negatives, like volcanoes, famine, and a tsunami. Ergo, does it then all simply come down to selection? And where do the principles of neutrality and universality kick in?
Wow, big question. First of all, we don't have to choose duality. This is the realm you and I have chosen to take human existence in. So we've already chosen that. We don't have to choose it now. We've already made that choice. Let's go into what you've talked of negative in nature. Volcanoes, eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes seem negative to us. And you may not like my answer at all. Seem negative to us. Why do they seem negative to us? It is our collective negative consciousness that has created these tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanoes. The earth has to release that negative collective consciousness. Nothing in this earth plane ever takes place without you being a co-creator. Nothing. When I speak of manifestation, what I mean is consciously manifesting rather than unconsciously manifesting. Even without your awareness, you are manifesting all the time. You could be manifesting bad health. You could be manifesting a quarrel. You could be manifesting a job promotion. You could be manifesting a divorce. You and I are manifesting all the time. This collective consciousness of the negative, this collective awareness of the negative is our creation. The volcano, the tornado, the tsunami, the earthquake is not a negative aspect of nature. Nature is universal. It has one energy, which is consciousness. The force is only love. You and I see this as negative forces because you and I are projecting our negative collective energy onto that.
Thank you, Elle. So another question came in about karma and destiny. Can you speak about either of those two concepts in relation to manifestation?
I'm going to speak of both because they are interlinked. First of all, I do not look at karma as some punishment or a whip again, that some cruel God up there is, whacking you across your butt because you've done something wrong. Not at all. Destiny. There are two aspects of destiny. The one aspect is what you choose before you enter human form. That part of destiny is known as your soul blueprint. Some have called it the Akashic records. The second part of destiny is when you do enter your human existence. Your soul enters, the God cell enters this human form. This human form has, because it has the God cell, it has the right to choose every moment of its existence. And that is its destiny. But remember, we have that blueprint that you chose for yourself when you were not yet in human form. That aspect of destiny also has to be filled, also has to be fulfilled. That aspect of destiny is aware of all the negative energies that lie within your unconscious mind that are still not assimilated. What does assimilated mean? They haven't yet been neutralized and they haven't yet been replaced by higher consciousness. You have been the one who has created these negative energies. You have to take responsibility to neutralize them. When these lie unassimilated, this unassimilated energy is known as karma. When this unassimilated energy comes to you in the form of a relationship problem or a monetary issue or a health issue, what it is inviting you to do is not go into victim mode and say, oh, this is my karma, now I have to bear it, because then you are only increasing your negative energy. It's inviting you instead to look within your subconscious, become aware of the negative energies there, and clean, clean, erase, clean, clean, erase.
Thank you, Elle. There's quite a few questions. Elle, can we keep going? Are you okay?
I am okay. It's up to
Perfect.
people.
I'm staying, and if you need to hop off, the question and answer will be on the recording, but as you can tell, this is a beautiful session, and so I encourage you to stay on, and thank you, Elle, for your generosity with your time. The next question is, and it's a little bit of a long one, so give me a moment here. What if, in despite of deep work, fears, and trauma, they keep rising up just enough to disrupt your ability to give co-creation with the universe a chance? What if your self-doubt complicates your capacity to truly put into practice where attention goes, energy flows? How do we move our attention from fear to what we want? Are there any practical step-by-steps that I can do to work on this limiting belief?
What if I give you only one step? What if there are no other steps? But first, let me give you a big energetic hug. Your question shows so much self-responsibility. And unless self-responsibility is present, manifestation is not present. So, of course, there shall be fear. Of course, there shall be anger. Of course, there shall be jealousy. Of course, there shall be envy, whatever. This process does not end. What if you were to manifest in the here and now nothing else nothing else save this. I choose by the divine right that I hold to manifest the energy of wisdom that brings to me the love that shall neutralize all my fear, all my anger, all my illness, all my whatever. What if you were to just manifest that? That vision goes into your subconscious. And then all you have to do every single day, every single moment is to say, I love you. I love you. You will be amazed at how quickly this manifestation becomes your joyous experience.
Thank you, Elle. And next question, what is the difference between visioning and desiring matter? So for example, if I want to manifest my new restaurant, how do I manifest its energy versus visioning it?
Lovely, lovely. I love this. First, you have to ask yourself, okay, so the matter desire is the restaurant. What is the energy that you wish to experience through that matter? Right? It might be different for so many people. Someone might say, the energy I wish to experience is the energy of self-achievement. Another will say, I wish to experience the energy of... A third will say, I wish to experience the energy of abundance, right? It could be all of this, something else entirely. But first you must find out for yourself, self-discovery process, what is the energy behind this physical manifestation. Then start manifesting that energy. Understand, you have already informed the universe by thinking of your restaurant. You have already informed the universe that I believe that my manifestation of this energy shall come through this restaurant. But because you are not manifesting the restaurant, you are giving your God self, which means consciousness, you are giving consciousness the permission to bring to you 100% the manifestation of this energy, whether it be through the restaurant or something else entirely which you did not even know. Sometimes we believe that a particular thing shall bring us that energy, but consciousness knows better. And when we give permission to consciousness, it brings us that perfect gift.
Thank you, Elle. Next question. Do we need to work consciously on our inner child or unconsciously to make the manifestation work? If so, how do we work on it?
There is no one answer to this. I have found that the answer lies really in the kind of personality that you and I are. There are certain personalities, and let's not knock our personalities, they're lovely personalities, right? There are certain personalities that are analytical, thoughtful, introspective. For them, a very conscious process of understanding what lies within the subconscious works, because it's almost as though they have something to work on. There are others who don't have that need. When I am with a client, I will go by what the client's energies will demand of me. When the client is one who does not really seek to know, but is only interested in the larger experience of the healing without going into the nitty-gritties, then that's how we proceed. For those who wish to know, then that's how we proceed.
Okay, Elle, next question. How do we recognize the voice of our God cell or self versus how do I know I'm manifesting from that versus my ego?
Your ego will only manifest matter. Your ego does not have the ability to manifest energy. If you are manifesting energy, if you are manifesting an energy experience, it can only come from your God self.
Okay, a few more questions, Elle. And this, I think a lot of us ask, I'm just going to ask it to you. If it is as easy as you say to manifest good health, why is there so much pain and illness and suffering in the world?
Because over generations, you and I have been conditioned to believe by the collective consciousness and the collective unconsciousness, both of which we are a part. We have been conditioned to believe that we find nirvana, paradise, shambhala, whatever you want to call it, when we suffer. We don't. In fact, the more you suffer, the further away you are from that. We seek to suffer. We are manifesting that energy over and over and over again. If you believe, if this resonates with you, may I invite you to first manifest the energy of the cosmic wisdom that pain and suffering do not exist. Pain and suffering do not exist. They exist as our personality experiences. They exist as our ego experiences. They exist as our brain experiences. They do not exist in consciousness.
Thank you, Elle. What is the, let me ask this question. Sorry, that answer just so profoundly hit me. Thank you. What if my manifestation is around the desire or health of another person? Is this...
I'm so glad someone asked this. There is no out there. There is no out there. So how can there be another person? Everything, my dear, loving, compassionate friend, everything is in here. The health that you seek to manifest for your loved one is your own health. Consciousness is one. When it takes on the garb of form, it also traps us in the illusion that Priya's form and my form is different. And I begin to believe that Priya is out there, whereas I am here. But consciousness is one. If I seek to manifest health for another, I must seek that manifestation for me with the full 100% awareness that there is no out there. And that is how we help people. That is how we help people. When someone comes to me for a so-called healing, and I don't like that word healer because there is no healer except self. We can be facilitators for others. We are not healers for anyone except ourselves. When someone comes to me, all I do is to touch them lightly. And then I begin to manifest the energy of health for me. Let's begin to do that in everything. This is the highest form of service you can give self in its largest aspect. And just as I manifest health for me, whenever I judge, whenever I criticize, whenever I hate, I am creating more and more of that negative energy within my unconscious mind because I've fallen into the trap of believing there is an out there.
Well, just a few more questions. What if there are distractions while visualizing? I don't have the best focus and can get distracted within seconds. And so the question is, how do I go about? Yeah, sorry, I'll go ahead.
You don't need to sit there for hours. You don't need to sit there for 2 minutes. You don't need to sit there for a minute. You close your eyes, you activate your God self, and there it is. And it's over and done. Let me make myself clear. When I use the word envision, I think you understood it to mean that you actually see something. Yes, there are people who can see. I cannot. I cannot. Right? I don't see anything here. So people say see, and I'm saying what? I don't see anything here. My vision comes to me as a sensation in my body. Your vision can come to you as that. Your vision could come to you as a feeling of hot or cold. Your vision could come to you as a smell. Your vision could come to you as a sound, right? It's vision, it's not sight. And it doesn't take 2 minutes. It's instantaneous. Where you believe your God self is, connect to it. Say, hello, wake up, buddy, here I am. By the divine power that I am, I command this manifestation. Hey, does anyone not listen to divine power? What divine power commands, it gets.
Elle, are there any symptoms I might experience as my subconscious is cleansing through my body and my energy?
Yes, yes, you could. You very well could. Sometimes these symptoms, when I was going through my very, very deep clearance, I went through very, very huge emotional turmoil within. There are those who go through it on a physical level. So they might experience nausea, they might experience headache, they might experience fevers. Yes, you could. Don't get rattled by it. Don't get scared by it. Instead, just manifest that these fears that these symptoms should be abated. That's it. Command that the symptoms should abate.
And I think this is the final question. It might be a nice way for you to just wrap some of this up. And the question is, I feel like I would thrive better in another country. I find the structure and the weather there more to my liking. How do I know what the energy is that I'm trying to manifest?
Oh, then don't manifest a certain country. Manifest the energy experience. So it might be that you wish to manifest an energy experience of spirituality, of kindness, of compassion, of brotherhood. I don't know. I don't know what your manifestation is. And so you manifest that energy. Remember, what you are thinking has already been heard by your God self and therefore by consciousness. If it is a certain country that is going to give you that energy, then that's where you shall be taken effortlessly. And if it is 2 streets down the road, then that's where you shall be taken.
Thank you, Elle. And the questions keep coming, but I think we'll end it now because it's been quite a long time. I just want to say thank you so much to you, Elle. It was profound as always. And thank you all of you for joining us. You will get a follow-up with a recording. You'll also get a follow-up on how to contact Elle, how to contact me. And I'm just going to put in the chat the plug for the next masterclass, which is all about the Ayurvedic concept of ojas. How to use Ayurveda to impact your health, your happiness, and your immunity. Again, from another one of my teachers joining us from India. So I'll put that in the chat, and I'll also put Elle's contact in the chat. And if I can get her back for another masterclass, you know that I will do my very best to do that. In fact, I'm going to be speaking with her. She doesn't know this yet, about a full day workshop I'd love to do with her and have all of you join. But I'm planting.
I'd be thrilled to do that. Thrilled.
Of course, that will not maybe be free because, as you see, the value she brings. But I am so excited, Elle, for all of you to be here. And I'm just putting the next masterclass, and I'm going to put Elle's contact here. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email me and I'll forward them to Elle, and you'll get all of her contact in the next email. Elle, any last words from you while I put your email on the list?
Don't be who you were 2 hours ago. Every moment, change, evolve. Be your God self. You are beautiful. Recognize your right to health, to abundance, to happiness, and ensure that you make it happen. Here and now. There is no other time. God bless to all of you. I love you.
Elle,
God bless.
Thank
you.
Deep gratitude to you and to all of you all for being here. I'm going to try not to cry again. Elle's contact is in the chat listen again. By Monday morning, you will get the recording and all of the contact information. And thank you so much. Lots of love, everyone. And I hope to see you at the next one. And Elle, we're going to put this workshop together.
Great. Thank you all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share. Thank you.
Bye.